Hey, travelers, what's happening? Neetson Mosery here, the Traveling Investor, and welcome to the Traveling Investors Podcast live Q&A show. This is where we talk about how to master your mind, body, and wallet through real estate investing. Now, to become successful in anything in life, you have to become a new person, because the person that you are today is not going to be the same person that you are making 10 times your income tomorrow. And that's why we say we are becoming successful, because when we become successful, we become someone else. And in our lives, we go through different obstacles, through different challenges. And the one thing that separates people that achieve success from those that don't is the stuff that's stuck in between your ears. It's the story that you tell yourself, the mindset that you have, whatever worldview you're looking at or you're seeing yourself through. That's what's going to take you into your future. And that's what's going to give you your present moment. So whatever it is, make sure to get out of your own way so that you can achieve massive success. And here on the Traveling Investor Show, I like to bring in guests that have actually done that. They've changed their mindset. They've changed their outlook on life. They've changed who they are so that they can become successful. And they've become successful, which means that they've become someone else. And today I've got an awesome guy. His name is Sean O'Rourke, and he is a full-time husband, real estate investor, and father of 4. So don't tell me he's got a lot of time sitting around just twiddling his thumbs, because I have 2 kids, and I can tell you 2 kids take up a lot of your time. 4, forget about it. And remember, how many out there, how many of you travelers listening right now, you're sitting around, you're walking through life, you're hating your job, you're hating your boss, and you just don't know what to do or where to go, or you just want to make a change in your life. Well, guess what? My guest today also hated his job and his boss. He was a production manager at a plant. And at one point in life, he decided to make a change. And he started learning about real estate, right? Just like many of us out there who started out in the real estate world, he was broke and he had to figure out how to do it with no money. And in this show, also in the Traveling Investor Show, we talk about how to build wealth through real estate while using OPM, other people's money, right? That's the best way to do it. And that's an incredible way, because we talk about leveraging. We talk about leveraging other people's money, skills, knowledge, talent, and all of that good jazz. And what he did, he started wholesaling, right? This is where you don't need a lot or any of your own money to go out there and do or to become successful. So he started wholesaling in his first year. Guess what? He did 36 deals and made over $300,000. I'm going to say that again. In his first year, 36 deals, and he made $300,000. Do you think this guy knows what he's talking about? Do you think he's got some good nuggets to share coming from someone who was broke, unhappy, didn't like his job, didn't know what he was doing, had to go out and learn it, and now he's successful? So, there's so much more I could read about him, but before, instead of that, I just want to bring him on. Sean, are you there?
I'm here, man. I'm here.
Welcome. Thanks for being on the show.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate the opportunity to be here.
Absolutely. So where are you calling in from, first of all?
I'm in Tupelo, Mississippi.
Ah, very cool, man.
Yeah.
And is that where you're originally from?
No, I'm from all over. I was born in Orlando, Florida, lived there a couple of years, moved to Mississippi, went to elementary school here, and then high school, I moved to Westerville, Ohio, and then moved back down to Mississippi after that.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. Okay. And so tell us, you were a plant manager, right?
A production manager.
Production manager at a plant. What kind of a plant was it?
It was a expandable polystyrene plant. So basically, we made pharmaceutical coolers for the pharma company.
So you had nothing to do with real estate.
No, I had
you
nothing
were in
to
a
do with
completely different world.
Yeah, it was.
So
Yeah,
what was it that made you see that real estate was something that you wanted to do?
honestly, I fell into it, man. It wasn't initially what I really knew that I wanted to do, but what it become was a passion. So I fell into it because a friend of mine had a flip that they they had the money to flip the house, but they didn't have the time, and so they asked me if I would come in and with the time and manage the project. And I started managing the project, and realized very quickly that flipping houses is extremely hard. Contractors are extremely hard to deal with, and and so through that process, I realized, I asked myself, there's got to be a way to make money in real estate, not doing this, and without having any money. And I just started surfing the web trying to figure it out. And what I quickly realized after a couple of weeks of research is I love real estate. Like, it's awesome.
There's so many different ways of making money in real estate,
Yeah.
right? There's so many ways. That's one thing that I love about real estate is that every avenue that you go down, right? Any funnel that you create for any type of real estate, it's a completely different world.
Yeah.
Right? Single family fix and flips are different than wholesaling, different than tax liens and tax deeds, right? It's all that. So when you were surfing the net, what were you looking for?
I was looking for how to make money in real estate without any money.
How to make money in real estate without any money.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
I made good money, but I mean, my bills were set to my income, so I still live paycheck to paycheck.
You were looking at the check and going, I got more month at the end of my check. What do I do?
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly right.
Right. So how long did it take for you to make the transition over and leave that 9 to 5 job?
Yeah, for me, I was kind of reluctant. So that first year, I'd made good money, but some of it is exactly what you stated earlier. It's between your ears, and I was still in my own way. Like, I didn't believe in myself enough to commit.
Mm-hmm.
And so it took about a year and a half before I really committed. And in all honesty, it took other people to believe in me and bet on me to make me do that.
Isn't that amazing how sometimes the people that we know, our outside influences, can be either our biggest enemies or our biggest, advantages and friends?
It's crazy.
I remember, years ago when I was younger and I was working, my why was to kind of, shove it up some people's asses, right? Take that success and just really ram it up there, right? And that was the fuel and the fire that I needed to withstand all of the struggles, all of the bullshit that goes on in between the two ears,
Yeah.
right? That negativity so what was it for you that, what's your passion? What's your why? Let's ask it that way.
That changes. And I think that changes for everybody. You have an initial why you get into the business. And then as you grow and as you become more successful in that process, I think the why changes for the majority of people that do this.
Mm-hmm.
When I first started, my why was I wanted to provide a life for my family, and then also selfishly for me as well. And so I wanted to make more money, not be absolutely miserable in what I'm doing, and so that was my why initially. Now it's kind of changed and shifted to my why is to see other people succeed.
Mm-hmm.
That is so much more gratifying in life to help other people become successful.
Absolutely. I agree 100%. I love it when I talk to my coaching clients and a spark goes off, or they did something and, they sold a property, or they bought a property, or they just got out of the fear of talking to a broker.
Yeah.
And you can see that they're on the road, right? Some people it takes, boom, a month and they're successful. Some people it takes years. But I like what Dale Carnegie once said. He goes, the definition for him of success is someone who starts down the road. You don't have to achieve anything. As long as you start down the road and you go down the road of achieving your goals, of setting goals and hitting them, you're already a success, because the majority of people, and I'm looking out my window now into the world, the majority of people out there aren't going to do it.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So you got to go. And I agree, your why changes as you get older, right? More mature, life changes. Yeah, it's definitely something that changes, but it's got to be something that's strong enough to wake you up in the morning and and get you over every obstacle and challenges that you had on your way.
Yeah.
So
It's funny.
let me ask you this: what were some of the biggest obstacles, right? Because I love your story, right? Because so many people out there today are exactly where you were, exactly where I was, where we didn't know, and we didn't know what we didn't know, right? We didn't have any money, we didn't have this, but we had a fire under our asses, right? We had a burning sensation in our gut, and we just had to figure it out. So what was some of the obstacles or challenges as a beginner, someone with, that wasn't happy, right? Because you're also in that mindset of not being happy, right? So
Yeah.
what was it that what were some of the biggest obstacles that you had to go through for you to become successful?
I guess one of the biggest obstacles that I had to go through is I'm notorious for jumping and then figuring it out.
Mm-hmm.
And so my biggest obstacle initially at the beginning was learning fast enough to keep up with the speed that I was going. And so I struggled. I needed somebody to grab me and be like, okay, this is the next step. This is the next step, because I was running,
Mm-hmm.
and I made a ton of mistakes, and that's okay. I fully believe that you have to make mistakes because you learn from those mistakes. But that was my biggest obstacle, is really getting enough knowledge to make enough educated decisions that were the correct decisions to become profitable. Does that make sense?
Yep. No, absolutely. Absolutely. Everything in life is decisions, right? But you got to minimize that risk for each decision that you make so that you can have success in whatever risks you take,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how did you overcome that?
That took time and experience, like just doing it, really. You can watch videos and you can talk to mentors, and people can guide you, but at a certain point sometimes you just don't get it till you mess up. and
Amen.
so um, and so that's just how I overcome it. Was I did not stop. I stayed consistent. I had a path, I had a goal, and that's where I was going, and I wasn't going to let anything behind stop me. And consistency was key.
I love it. I love it. So nothing was going to stop you, and consistency is key. So travelers listening today or listening in the future, listen to what this man just said. Consistency, 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 and never, ever giving up. Right. We all know that story about the guy who stopped 3 feet from hitting gold, or, stopped digging in that river. And then the other guy found diamonds and all that stuff. And, it's true. Right. And it's a parable for life, but we have to listen to these parables, right? You got to, you start down the road, you start learning, you start moving, you start doing. You can't give up, because once you give up, you'll never be successful.
Yeah.
You'll never be able to say, I gave it my all and this was the outcome. It doesn't matter if you make $1 million or you don't make anything at all. As I said in the beginning, right, the person that you become is not the person that started on the journey,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
You were talking about success, and initially my mindset of success was, when I made $1 million, I've made it. That was my success. But that's not true success. My analogy now of success is all of the people that are around you, all the people that you love and you care for. We all go at it together, and we all become one with each other, and we all run forward in one direction, and we all win. That's success.
Mm-hmm.
Is taking the people around you and winning together.
Amen. Amen. That's beautiful. Absolutely. Right. It's lonely at the top.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. But it's true, right? Because we want to take our friends, our family with us on the journey. because we see something that they may not, right? We see the vision. We have the vision. We're entrepreneurs, right? We're entrepreneurs. We see vision. We understand risk. We understand that. And we want to say, hey, you know what? Come, because at the end of the tunnel, that's when everything happens. That's where it all sits at the end of that tunnel.
Yeah.
Right. That's fantastic, man. So so you have now over 250 doors. Is that right?
Yeah, something like that. I keep getting asked that question. I probably need to count. In all honesty, I haven't counted them enough to give 100% accurate number, but it's somewhere around there. We've got those doors, and then we have about 600-ish mini storage units as well.
That's awesome. All right, so let's talk to our travelers out there that want to start in real estate. Give them like a game plan that you kind of started out, and steps that they can take to become successful.
Yeah. The first thing I would do starting over, if I had to start all over again, is I would make my mind up on what I wanted to do. So where I wanted to go, whether it be real estate, whether it be, owning your own lawn care business, whatever that case may be, I would make my mind up that that's the direction that I go. And then I would spend every waking minute that I had free learning anywhere I can get it, whether that be podcasts, YouTube videos, the traveling investor, whatever I could do to listen to people that were more intelligent in that aspect than me, and I would gobble it up. And as I'm doing that, I do not get analysis paralysis. I don't just stall out just to learn. As I'm using those waking minutes, I'm also taking small action steps every day. And if that means that every day I'm driving a different direction than I normally do and keeping my head on a swivel to look for that vacant, broke down, needing repair house, then that's what I would do. And I would stop and I would get that address and I would just compile a list one by one. That's all you have to do. That's small steps, one by one. Compile a list. And then I would figure out how to get in touch with them. Skip trace it, whatever the case may be. Then I would make a phone call. Hey, come across your property. I seen it needed a little bit of work. Look, if you ever decide you wanted to sell that thing, man, I might be the person that would buy it. And as you're doing this, you're still learning. You got your AirPods in, whatever. You're listening to stuff. You're consuming, and you do it every day, every day, every day. And that's what I would do again to start.
That's beautiful. That's awesome. So immerse yourself, educate yourself, and then take action.
Yeah.
Right. You don't get anywhere without taking action.
Right.
So that's awesome. What kind of, how long did it take? Well, let me ask you this first. How many people do you have on your team right now?
We have 6 here in the office.
How long did it take for you to start hiring people?
We made our first hire. So I went full-time. I think the first month we made our first hire.
Okay.
And she handled everything for us. Any of the back end stuff, anything from dealing with contracts to whatever we needed her to do. She was kind of the person that handled it all. And then after that, I would say it was another month or so, we made another hire. Now our hires, the first hire, she was salary, but our second hire was commission based. So it was performance based. And then as we grew our business, we'd bring on more people performance based, but then we learned to hold and retain good people. We had to have a salary plus commission. So that's how we started structuring it once we started generating enough revenue to cover that.
That's awesome. That's great. What types of systems and processes did you put in, and how did you learn what to put in?
Yeah. Yeah. So the good thing is I was doing it for about 1.5 years before I went full time. So going full time, I used a notepad like this every day. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah.
And I wrote down numbers and names, and I had them everywhere, and I would lose crap, and it would be a nightmare. And I tried Google Sheets, and that didn't work because I didn't get in there and do it. I'm not a techie guy,
Uh-huh.
okay? And so like it was a nightmare. And so because of that, what it did is it forced us to become more regimented and put systems in place
Right.
to keep track of those processes. So what we did is we bought Podio. So we built out our own Podio system, which is a CRM, a customer management system.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And we, as we went, we added, we built it out, and we knew we wanted a text message, and we knew we wanted a cold call, and we knew we wanted to do this, and we knew, okay, through that we want the seller's name, address, we wanted these key indicators, blah blah blah, and we just built it out one by one through this thing. And instead of paying a subscription, and I'm not against subscriptions, don't get me wrong, but I would much rather build something and own it
Sure.
and not pay long-term subscriptions than not. So that's what we did. We built out our own Podio. It cost us a lot of money. It cost us a lot of time. But we built that thing out, and now we use that for follow-up sequences. We use that to keep track of all of our leads that are in the system, and now it's a process. So daily we have a process where our acquisitions managers know today you're hitting the new untouched leads, and today you're hitting your follow-up leads, and today you're this and that. And then we have systems in place. Okay, how does the call work? The call goes from setting expectations, an intro, setting expectations, finding motivation, blah, blah, blah. And it's just systemized, boom, boom, boom. And we just follow those systems and processes. And I'm going to be honest with you, we're not perfect. Like, we learn every day.
Sure.
And we put new things in every day, because we all, when you stop learning and you stop growing, you're dying.
Mm-hmm. That's right. That's amazing. That's fantastic. And yet, a lot of times, all the successful people, they learn by doing, by failing, and whatnot. We, for some reason, in our world, in our society, we look at failure as adults as something that is terrible. I look, I don't know if you have kids. You have 4 kids. You have 4 kids. I have 2 teenagers, right? And I just look at them. And how old are your kids?
I've got 2 that are 15, one that's 13, one that's 11, 12.
Oh, wow. So you got your hands full.
Yeah. Yeah. Teenage years.
Oh, I know those teenage. Oh man, riding the emotional roller coaster of a teenage will take years off of your life expectancy.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. That's great. So you built out your own CRM, you figured it out, right? You did it by failing, and it's funny how when we're as little babies and kids, we learn everything by failing.
Yeah.
You fail how to walk, you fail how to eat, you fail how to go to the bathroom until you're God knows how old, right? But yet, as we grow and our kids in school and whatnot, failure suddenly, changes, and it's frowned upon, right? But you can never achieve true success without going through failure.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right.
Think about how many times you tried to bake a cake. You don't get it perfect the first time. As a matter of fact, I just baked my daughter's cake for her birthday. Her birthday was 2 weeks ago. I didn't realize when we cleaned the oven that the oven rack was awkward. So her cake was big on one side and small on the other. Come on. Those kind of things, though, that's what makes life. Like, you have to live, right?
Mm-hmm.
And failure, screw ups, all that stuff are part of it. And as soon as you recognize that, and are willing to understand that, what is the worst that happens?
That's right. That's right. That's right. And once you realize that, you're going to fail. I fail. I make mistakes. I make mistakes every day, right? I made some mistakes today, right? Thank God they didn't cost me a lot of money, but I made some mistakes, and okay, we check it off. We put it in our memory, and we make sure not to make those mistakes again, right? You gotta make mistakes. Without mistakes, there's no growth. There's no learning. There's no becoming.
Yeah.
Right. There's no becoming that success. Right. So what do you have in store for yourselves in the future? What are you looking at? I mean, it's a crazy market that we're in right now.
Man, I'm gonna be honest. I wish I had a crystal ball because I could tell you exactly what we're gonna do. What I
Mm-hmm.
do know that we're gonna do in our business is when we see key indicators, we're gonna cut. We're gonna make a move. That's really all that we can do. Right now, the market is still good in most
Mm-hmm.
areas.
Mm-hmm.
You have some areas like in California. If you notice, I don't know if you heard the latest news, but they're slowing down pretty hard. Well, there's a couple of reasons why. Some people
Sure.
are moving out of California, and that's part
Mm-hmm.
of it. The other thing, there's just a lot of things that are happening there. But where
Sure.
we're in, the markets that we're in right now, they're still really hot. House values are still high, so we're going to ride that wave until it stops. But at the same time, we're investors. So locally, we're trying to pick up as many properties as we can. The difference right now is we have to be a little bit more conservative on our
Mm-hmm.
purchases because interest rates are going up.
That's right.
And so because of that, we can't pay as much as we were willing to pay last year,
Mm-hmm.
and that's okay. We just have to understand that and change our buy box a little bit. So I
Right.
think that's key in business is just noticing some key indicators and make moves when you can.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So let's talk about that. What are some key indicators that you guys look for?
So I look for there's a couple things. So we sell a lot of properties to institutional buyers. It's a very good deal for us right now. A good market. We did a lot of flips last year. We kind of backed off on the flips so much, and now we're selling more to institutional buyers. Um, some of the things that we look for is some of their, responses or feedback on purchase price of house. So when we go in to negotiate a deal with the seller and we say, okay, Mr. Seller, we can give you X amount of dollars, and then we submit it, and the institutional buyer comes back and they're like, well, we can only give this, and we see that 2 or 3 times. Okay, the market's starting to slow down on their purchase. Their cap rate is now going up. And
Mm-hmm.
because of that, now we have to either adjust our prices down or start looking into other markets that are still in that same, still hot.
Right.
Another one would be days on market. So if you're going to be flipping, you need to look at inventory on days on market. You have to know that. If days on market is going up, well, that's a key indicator that now properties are sitting longer. That's giving more time for more inventory to hit the market. And so because of that, you may need to revalue the sales price to be able to turn that property. I don't know. I use a lot of private investor money to turn my flips and do our stuff. Well, if that money, the longer that money sits, the longer that house sits, that money gets more expensive every month. And so, you have to look for that. So make sure you stay keyed in on days on market. The other thing that you look at, or I look at, is economic draw coming in or going out. So, what's the economic draw of the area that you're working in? If that economic draw doesn't continue to grow, then you're probably getting into a market that is now either sustaining its level or it's actually decreasing. So those are other key indicators.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's those are exactly what you want to look for, right? Days on market is huge. I remember when I was flipping houses as well, that's many gray hairs ago. Yeah, that's definitely the key indicator, right? Days on market, what offers and what prices are. I'll tell you this, it's crazy. My wife and I, we have a few short-term rentals that we do in Galveston, Texas, and we're doing in Northwest Arkansas. But being in Florida, the best and the closest place for us is by the Blue Ridge Mountains, the Smokies, in that area, Gatlinburg,
Mm-hmm.
and we're just seeing, I would say, towards the end of last year and even the beginning of this year, people are putting offers $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 above asking price. And they're even coming in with the delta between the appraised value and the purchase price, meaning the houses aren't even appraising.
Yeah.
And people are paying cash on top of that. I'm going,
Yeah.
but don't you understand?
Yeah.
It didn't appraise.
Yeah.
They're saying it's not worth that much.
Yeah.
Why are you paying that?
Well, you know, and I have a hypothesis on why that's happening.
Mm-hmm.
So, two things. Number one, there people are moving into the Southeast for two
Mm-hmm.
reasons: taxes and um, um, regulations.
Right.
Okay, and so I believe what's happening is in your more expensive states, New York, California, property values, a 1,600 square foot house is $750,000 or whatever, something crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can't even fathom that, you
Right.
know.
Yeah.
And they can sell that property. They have a ton of equity, and they can
Mm-hmm.
move down here where the cost of living is cheaper,
Mm-hmm.
the cost of real estate is cheaper, and
Right.
they can afford to pay that delta because you know what? They made a butt ton of money on their
Sure.
property over there.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think is going on.
Oh, absolutely. They want to get out. They're saying, you know what? I don't care. I don't care
Yeah,
if the house depreciates or
yeah,
if I lose half of the value. I want a house.
yeah.
I want a house. Plus, interest rates are going up. I mean, but interest rates weren't going up last year, but you know, it's all in there, right?
Well, and then inventory is so
Mm-hmm.
low right now that
Mm-hmm.
they have to jump on it.
Yep. Yeah, it's crazy. Even with multifamily.
Yeah.
I'm here in South Florida, and I get deals in Miami. Buildings that were built in 1910, 100 years old,
Oh no.
right? They're asking $300,000 a door. I'm going, dude, I could build brand new for 200. Why
Oh
would
my
I
God.
buy? Why would I buy? And it's, you look at the building and the paint is holding the building together.
Yeah. Yeah. That's funny that you said. I'm gonna actually run a number real quick. I've got a 38 unit under contract right now for 1.175 million divided by 38 unit doors. So
That's
I'm paying
great.
$30,000 a door.
Wow. Where is that?
It's in Starkville, Mississippi, a college town, Mississippi State.
Nice. So you
Yeah.
see, knowing your market, knowing the inside and outside of your market is crucial to success as well, to your business,
Yeah.
right? You got to know your market. You got to know what area to go in. You got to know what neighborhood, right? What are some of the criterias for new markets that you look for when you're going into a new market?
So if it's going to be a like a wholesale or a hotel market that we look for, honestly, we chase the institutional buyers
Mm-hmm.
because right now that's where the money's at, the easy money compared
Mm-hmm.
to a flip.
Mm-hmm.
I really do not want to try to flip a house 2 or 3 states over. I have no desire to do that.
It's a
You
pain in
know,
the ass.
yeah.
It's a pain in the ass. No, absolutely. If you can do it in your backyard, you want to do it in your backyard.
Yeah, yeah, and we live in a town of 44,000 people. I mean, we're not a big city. Now we do have an economic draw of about 250,000 per day for work, but I mean, we're not large. So, and for us to do how many ever flips we did last year, I mean, if we're doing it in a small market, what can you do in a large market? If I lived in Atlanta, I hold my britches because it's about to happen.
It's true though. It's true, right? Once you've got your systems in place and you've got everything and you've got it all lined up, you can do it anywhere
Yeah,
you want.
yeah.
So what would it take for you? I mean, would you guys consider going to another market, or you're just content with your backyard and doing it, where you are?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're going to build out 1,000 doors in our backyard within the next 5 years. You know,
That's great. Mm-hmm.
so there's really no need to, really step off into. I mean, here's the thing: like, I still live in the same house I lived in, before I was doing this. I have no desire to be this pumped up guy, having a big monster mansion. It's just not really what I want. I want a good, comfortable lifestyle for me and my family. If
Mm-hmm.
I want to do something, I go do it. And
That's right.
and that's really what I look for. Now, if people want that, that is great. That's just not for me. I'm just a country boy from Mississippi. I like to hunt, go fishing, enjoy my family, and that's what I want.
Yeah, that's it. There's, it's said in the world, right? Success makes you more of what you already are, right? You're a good person, like you said. I'm just a good old country boy. I want to do well. You know what? You're going to go out fishing a lot more. You're going to take your family with you. You're going to take your friends with you. You're going to it's going to be in a little bit nicer boat. It's going to be in a nicer place to stay. You're still going to do everything. It's just going to be a little bit nicer, a little bit easier, a little bit more fun.
Yeah, a little bit less
Right?
stressful. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And like I have a lot of friends who do the 9 to 5, and God bless them. They need that quote unquote security, right? Which I don't think it's security. I think entrepreneurship is way more secure than sacrificing 40 years of your life to build somebody else's empire. But they sit there and they have their 2 weeks that they can take off.
Yeah.
So they're stressed as hell a week before because they're working. They got to get it in. I got to get, I got to diet. I got to do this, right? Oh my God, blah, blah, blah. And then they get on the 2 weeks. They're trying to do everything in 2 weeks. So they come, and then they come back. They need a week. They need a week to recuperate from the 2 weeks of vacation, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, what are you doing to yourself?
Yeah. Yeah. And here's the thing, and they talk about security, but here's the honest truth. That business can go under just like yours could.
Yep.
There's no difference in security between theirs and yours.
No, I have two good friends of mine that I know from New York. We grew up together in New York. They worked for the same company, one office in New York, one office down here in Florida. They worked for that company for 25 years. They were in their mid to late 40s when and this is technology that is already obsolete. So they were working in a business that you saw the end was coming. The technology was already out that made this product obsolete. And at the age of 47, they both lost their jobs. Kids, school, mortgages, insurance, expenses. Now you're 45, 46, 47 years old. You got this stress of mortgages and payments every single month. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Thank God both of them started their own businesses and are now finally have that entrepreneurial mindset and said, you know what? I'm not going to do it for anybody else. Yeah. I'm going to do it for me. But it took them 25 years of sacrificing their life to realize that, you know what? Shit, this didn't work out the way I thought it would.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I tell my clients, I do coaching, I teach people like mindset and all that stuff and multifamily. And I tell them, I said, it's up to you, right? It's up to you to make it happen. You could spend 25 years building somebody else's empire, or you can spend 25 years building your empire. And you know what? You may not build a huge empire, but at least you're doing it for yourself.
Yeah.
At least you're doing it for yourself, right? That's the key, And one of the things that I love about working for myself, like you said, I don't want to come into the office today. I'm not going to come in, right? I want to go out, take my kids on a family trip. All right, let's go. We go 3, 4, 5 times a year on trips. I just took my kids out of school last week and we went to Arkansas to stay in our house on the lake.
Yeah.
Spent the week with the kids, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Let's go. So that's freedom.
Yeah. That's exactly right. Right.
Being able to go out there and do what you want with who you want for as long as you want without anybody telling you what to do and where to go. And what's awesome about what you and I do in real estate is that we can do it pretty much from anywhere. So you could be traveling with your family and like, listen, I need 2-3 hours. I got to do some stuff. Open up the laptop, boom, 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 boom. Click and you're done. And now you're off hiking or fishing or hunting, doing whatever it is you want.
Yeah. And look, so a lot of times what I find is some people think it's unattainable because they look at where I am now, where you are now, and they say, man, that's too far away. That's too far away. And that goes back to exactly what I said earlier, which is if you stay consistent doing something every day, it's going to take a little time. It's going to take a little work, but you'll look back one day and you'll be like, holy crap.
That's right.
I did it. You know, it's not a get rich quick scheme. This is real life, but if you do it, it'll work.
That's right. I was at a conference and I heard somebody say it and I loved it. He says, he looks out into the audience. He goes, listen, real estate works. There are billionaires out there that made billions on real estate. He goes, real estate works. you don't work,
Yeah.
right? The
Yeah.
system works, the process works, doing it and whatnot, it works. You just got to figure out how to do it. And you're absolutely right. Consistency is the key. Consistency, consistency, consistency. You know, I'm huge on social media platforms and all that, and posting and whatnot. And there are a few, and I'm sure you see it as well. There are a few that always stand out because you're always seeing them. They're always coming at you. They're always there. They're always adding value, giving something, and they're
Yeah.
all, and that's the consistency,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That's the consistency. That's how you grow. That's how you maintain it. That's how you
Yeah.
expand it, by being consistent, right?
Gary Vee says that exact same thing. Just post something. People want
Right.
to follow you. People want to see what you do. Some people are not going to do what you're willing to do, and so they want to watch it.
Right. Yep. And it's so simple today. All you got to do is press record on the video, put the selfie mode, and go, "Hey, how's it going?"
Yeah, that's right.
All right, last topic that we're going to touch, and then I'm going to let you go because I know you're super busy, and again appreciate your time being here. You were talking about private investors, right? You were talking about how to do this. You know, I remember in the beginning you said you typed in how to make money in real estate without any money, right? Was that what you
Yeah.
typed in?
Yep.
So how did you go about doing this without any money, or how did you go about finding your investors?
Yeah. So to start out, well, the way I did it without having any money is I was driving for dollars, if you know what that key phrase is, right? I was driving around looking for properties that were vacant, and I was trying to reach out to them in any way, shape, form, or fashion I could. If that meant going to the next door neighbor and knocking on the door and saying, "Hey, who owns this house?" "Oh, okay, Miss Jan, can you give me her phone number? You mind if I call her?" Well, and I would just do that, and I would just try to find out who they were. When you start building a little bit of credibility in your market, again, exactly what you said, you post content, you talk to what I call the 3-foot rule. Anybody that's 3 foot, you're over there pumping the gas. "Hey man, how you doing? What do you do?" "Okay, I buy houses." "You know what? You got any houses for sale?" "Oh no, you don't. You buy them too?" "Okay, cool. What's your number? I want to call you. We'll get together." Those relationships, you build rapport, you build a credibility in the market, and you just consistently do that. And then people start saying, "Oh, that's that Sean guy over there. Yeah, I heard he buys houses." And then you meet them somewhere in a restaurant, and they say, "Hey man, I hear you buy houses." "Yeah, I'm interested in buying some houses, but God, I don't know what I want. I don't know if I want to deal with that." "Oh, really? So you have some money to invest? Is that what you're looking to do? You need to, you need to deploy some cash because but you don't want to deal with the headache?" "Yeah, okay. Well, look, let me tell you what I do, and maybe you and I can work together." And you just build those relationships, build that rapport, and you'll build that as you go.
I love it. I love it. That's so true. Build those relationships. How hard was it in the beginning to do that for you?
For me, it's really not that hard. And here's the reason why, though. For me, when I was in college, so I dropped out of high school, woke up one day, I had a dream. My dad passed away when I was 17. I had a dream that night. He come to me, took me to an ice cream shop and said, "I'm disappointed, but I'm proud of you." And that hit me, man. And so I woke up the next day and I went to the local community college and applied to get my GED, got my GED, and went to school. And but I didn't have any money. My mom was single, and we didn't have any money, and so I had to work. And what I did for work was I sold Kirby vacuum cleaners door to door.
Oh, wow.
So,
I remember those.
so for me,
Uh-huh.
it really came natural because I was used to getting screamed at and
You were
told
used to
no.
breaking the ice in 30 seconds.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Let me
what it
come in
takes.
and sell you an 1,800 vacuum cleaner. Take
Right.
$100 vacuum cleaner. Yeah, how hard is that? So anyway.
That's funny because I used to sell knives door to door in New York City. And I joke, I would knock on the door and people would take the knives and they chase me down the street with my own knives.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's, hey, you got to do what you got to do.
That's it.
Someone told, there's a book out there. I'm sure there's many. The title is like, "There's nobody coming to help. There's nobody coming to your rescue. There's nobody coming for you." And at first, when I heard that, I was like, "Oh, No, I'll be there for you, right? But when you think about it, when you go deep inside, you're like, you know what? There's nobody, nobody's coming,
Yeah.
right? Nobody's coming to my rescue. Nobody's gonna come and give me a pound on my back and motivate me and say, "Hey, good job, man. Good job, Sean. Way to
Yeah.
go. Come on, wake up, man. It's 6
Yeah.
a.m. Come on, get out of right." There's nobody doing that.
No. No, there's not. There's not. And we get misinterpretation from the media, and all these other people that say you're going to get this and we're going to take care of you. But none of that is real. None of
No,
that is real. You got to just get up off your butt and just do it. That's it.
right.
Just get her done.
Just get her done, man. That's why you see Master Yoda behind me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's why I have him there. My wife painted that for me. Because what's his motto? What does he always tell Luke Skywalker? Do or do not. There is no try. Right? Shit or get off the pot. Just do something.
Yeah. I
Do
love it.
something already, right? Either do it or don't.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If you're gonna do it, be in it 100%. Give everything you got. If you fail, you fail. So what?
Yeah.
At least you can come and say, you know what? I gave it my all.
Yeah.
And it just didn't
And
work.
and look, in this process, you've got to care about people. Okay.
Mhm.
So I live by you care about people, not about profit. Okay.
Right.
And as you learn and as you grow and you care about people, it's going to help you long term. There was a story. I don't know if you know about the starfish story, but there was a guy and he was on the beach and there were thousands of starfish all over the beach. And he's walking by and he's picking one up and he's looking at it and he'll throw it back in the water. He'll go over and he'll pick up another one and he'll look at it and he'll throw it back in the water. And this guy walks by and he's like, "Man, what are you doing?" He said, "I'm saving the starfish." The guy said, "There's no way you're going to save all these thousands of starfish. It's not that important." The guy reaches down and he picks up a starfish and he looks at it. He said, "It's all important to this one." And he throws it back in the water. That one person you never know you're going to help may turn around and be the biggest asset that you've ever experienced in your life.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely. You know, there. I like to, when I do my my events and whatnot, I like to say that, the Grandmaster once asked. They said, "What is the path to greatness?" And the master said, "Service to others."
Mm.
That's it. Be a service to others. Add value to people's lives. Help other people achieve success, and then you're written in the book in heaven, and the heaven doors will open up to you, because, like you said, I'm not focused about my money. I'm focused about helping other people, and I love that you said that, because I am 100% agreeing on that. That it's about servicing others, about helping others, and that's why I have a coaching program.
Yeah.
I don't need the money that these people give me. It takes a lot of time out of my schedule that I'm doing other deals, and but when a client of mine comes to me and he said, "I bought a triplex and then I flipped it and I sold it and I'm debt free now."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Dude, that's so awesome.
Yeah.
That is amazing."
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
like,
Yes.
"Wow, how did you do that?" He goes, "Well, I just listened and I did this and I did everything you told me to do, and I found it and I spoke to the broker and blah 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 blah." And that, I mean, I talk about it and I get goosebumps right now.
Yeah.
That's just an amazing thing for me to hear, that I'm able to help someone.
Yes.
And it wasn't me. He went out, he spoke to the broker, he did everything, but I was there. Whatever I did to help, even if it was just to listen, or if it was kind of, say this instead of saying that, and that was the catalyst for his success.
Yeah.
Dude, that is amazing.
Yeah.
That is
Absolutely.
amazing. All right, my friend. Well, you know what? Thank you so much for being on the show. Let our travelers know how they can find you on social media, where you're at.
Yeah. Yeah. So one thing that I do is I put content out every day, and it's some type of tip, okay, for real estate. I'm always posting every day. And so they can look me up on Facebook at Sean O'Rourke on Facebook. They can also look me up on Instagram at bearded_investor, or TikTok is bearded_investor Sean. As well as you, I did the exact same thing. I built out a coaching platform just because I wanted to teach people how to wholesale from the start to finish, because I felt like that's the most valuable thing that I did, and I want to teach other people to do that. And that's highperformanceedu.com. They can reach us there. Man, any way I can help anybody, I am not selfish. So reach out to me, message me, check out our free content, whatever you want to do.
Awesome, my man. Thank you so much. Keep helping people. There's so many people out there that need help. A lot of people that don't know that they need help, that need it. And there are a lot of people out there that just won't ask for it. But when it comes, they'll grab it. So thank you so much for being here. Thanks so much for doing what you do, for helping everybody. Much success to you. I appreciate you taking the time to be here. And travelers, thanks for stopping by. Check out the Traveling Investor on all social media platforms, from Facebook to Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, and even TikTok. We're there as a Traveling Investor, and we're here every week with a new guest to help you demystify the art of mastering your mind, body, and wallet. Check out our Facebook page, check out YouTube, go there, like, subscribe, share the content. It's free. And I look forward to seeing all of you somewhere on Spaceship Earth. Take care. Be well.